In today's video, I will cover my number one tip that helped me pass all 4 CPA exams. Hi, my name is Alex and I officially got my CPA in August of 2024. For some added context, I passed FAR in August of 2023, BEC in October 23, Audit in December 23, and finally Reg in March of 2024. I completed all these exams while working full-time. Studying for these exams was honestly one of the hardest things I've ever done. There were a bunch of times I felt like quitting, but once I figured out the study techniques I'm about to share with you, it got a whole lot easier. So let's jump right into it. The first and most essential tip to pass the CPA exams is to practice active recall. Active recall is just a fancy way of saying actively pulling or retrieving this information from your brain. Now, there are many different ways to practice active recall. These could include making and using flashcards, answering multiple choice questions at the end of each chapter, or just taking out a blank sheet of paper and writing down everything you can about a certain topic. I believe this active recall method is so effective for two main reasons. The first is because it allows you to practice actively retrieving the information from your brain rather than just passively reading it in a book. There are times when I've spent hours reading over a textbook only to forget what I read when it comes time to answer practice questions. The more you practice active recall on your CPA exam information in a low-stakes study environment, the better you will do on exam day. The next reason why I believe this method is so effective is because it helps you identify your weak areas with the caveat that you'll go back and relearn that material later. If I personally learn a concept, quiz myself on that concept, and get a question wrong, I'm much more likely to focus and pay attention when I go back to relearn that material because it's just that much more meaningful right after I got the question wrong. For some reason, getting the question wrong and then going back and relearning the material really helps drive that home into memory. I actually think spending extra time upfront quizzing yourself and identifying your strong and weak areas will save you a lot of time when you go back to review, because you can pinpoint exactly where you need to spend more time. Now, I won't get into all of them in this video, but there are a few studies that explore the benefits of active recall. One found that students who repeatedly retrieved information via testing retained more over the long term than those who only reread the material. Another study found that frequent low-stakes quizzing using retrieval practice in classrooms improved student performance and long-term retention. I also think trying to teach someone else a topic is a great way to study. Now, it may be difficult to find someone who is willing to sit there and let you teach them the CPA material, but if you do find someone that's willing to help you out, you should be very grateful. And last but not least, in regards to active recall, sometimes I would simply just take out a blank sheet of paper and see if I could write out everything I have memorized on that topic from start to finish. So for example, they don't test BEC anymore, but one of the mnemonics of the 5 components of internal control was CRIME. C for control environment, R for risk assessment, I for information and communication, M for monitoring activities, and E for existing control activities. To be honest, I probably wrote that out about 30 times while studying for BEC, and that was just one of many mnemonics that I wrote out all the time. Now, I know these exams can be extremely difficult, and that's why I wanted to make this video to provide my top study tips. It might sound simple, but this technique absolutely changed the game and probably saved me a lot of headache studying for these extremely rigorous exams. Please let me know if you're currently studying for the CPA exams, or if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and please check out my other videos on tax planning and personal finance.